Hello and welcome back to the Royal News 365 channel. I know a lot of people want the media to cover Harry and Meghan because we're all so fed up with them. However, the Sussex couple has never stopped looking for controversy and criticism. Recently, Harry was ridiculous when he offended many people in both the UK and the US by wearing a medal at an awards ceremony. Let's analyze and discuss this with me in the video. Prince Harry stirred controversy when he sported his military medals during a virtual appearance at an awards ceremony where he bestowed the Soldier of the Year accolade upon us Combat Medic Sergeant First Class Elizabeth Marks. Although he relinquished his honorary military titles in 2020, Harry proudly displayed his Operational Service Medal for Afghanistan and other commendations, sparking disapproval from certain royal enthusiasts on social media. They found his decision embarrassing and criticized him for daring to wear prestigious medals while doing nothing himself, even insulting the royal family and the monarchy. Nevertheless, Harry found support from others who argued that the medals held significance, representing noteworthy occasions such as the late Queen's Jubilees and his dedicated service in the army. In the video presentation, Harry commended Elizabeth Marks for her bravery and fortitude, underscoring her remarkable accomplishments and invaluable contributions to the military community. The ceremony itself was hosted by the Military Times, an impartial news platform renowned for honoring outstanding members across all branches of the armed forces. Critics found Prince Harry's video speech to be cringe-worthy. They noted his apparent discomfort and awkward delivery, observing that he struggled to articulate himself smoothly, often trailing off at the end of sentences. Some couldn't help but focus on his mannerisms, particularly his mouth movements, which they found distracting and unnatural. Given the royal family's renowned emphasis on public speaking skills, his performance left much to be desired, leading some to question the efficacy of their early education efforts. And the only reason I'm shocked is that the conceited prick didn't have on his legendary aviator medal of all the items he so proudly wears on his chest. Just one has a military connection. The remaining 3 are Jubilee medals, and more than 400K of each were given to enlisted military members. I'm aware of the criticisms surrounding Prince Harry's military service, particularly regarding his role as the spare and the circumstances under which he was awarded medals. Some have argued that his assignments were often kept away from the front lines, earning him the nickname the Rear Boy from his fellow soldiers. Additionally, there have been allegations that he received medals for bravery despite not actively engaging in hazardous operations, causing discomfort among those who served in more perilous situations. The specific medals in question may include decorations awarded for service rather than for acts of valor in combat. Some people feel disappointed and frustrated with Harry's decision to wear his medals during the ceremony, especially given the criticisms surrounding his military service and the nature of the medals themselves. The way Harry used the medal was like these honors were primarily for being present during certain events rather than for acts of military valor. Many believe that someone else, perhaps a more distinguished military figure, should have presented the award to the deserving recipient. If his wife doesn't know how to wear appropriate clothes, he doesn't know how to wear medals appropriately. Some argue that he should only wear such honors when representing the UK government or the Crown in an official capacity. Without such authorization, his display of these medals could be seen as inappropriate or even disrespectful, especially if they are perceived as being used for personal gain or to bolster his public image. Many people even expressed their opinion that Harry's medals should be revoked. However, any decision regarding the revocation of his medals would likely involve complex considerations and would ultimately be up to the relevant authorities in the UK. I find it ridiculous when Harry wears military medals while not actively serving in the armed forces on American soil. It is inappropriate for a non-US citizen to wear such honors and attend a military event, especially if they are not directly affiliated with the military. Harry's actions are unjustified and potentially disrespectful to those who have earned military honors through active service in combat zones. Personally, I would consider deporting Harry for that reason alone. He's overstepping his bounds, and the UK should revoke all his medals immediately. He should feel ashamed of himself for parading around with medals he hasn't earned through genuine military service. sitting in a bunker and playing war games on TV doesn't warrant receiving such honors. Honestly, it's beyond belief. Harry didn't even appear live but only sent a video. How can someone be so arrogant and self-important without merit? To think that a mere video is sufficient to honor a real soldier is insulting. And to top it off, the production quality is subpar, it's grainy, poorly made, and appears to be filmed outdoors. Wearing an Afghanistan medal along with 3 other dubious honors only adds insult to injury, as if rubbing it in the Taliban's face. How ironic. An American lady receives an award for her service to her country, only to be presented with it by a British prince. Remember, America doesn't have royalty, not just any British prince, but one who's fallen from grace, sporting British medals while doing so. Insensitive doesn't even begin to capture the disdain many feel for you, Harry. Said mockingly, my heart goes out to the woman who dedicated herself to her country, only to be handed an award by a sideline British prince. Naturally, he can't fool everyone. He tries to showcase his ties to the British royal family, despite having brought dishonor upon them, is evident. It's a way for him to feel significant. Yet, it appears highly hypocritical for him to wear those medals considering his public criticisms of his family, the monarchy, and his homeland. It is true that he shouldn't be wearing them at all. They are not military medals, but rather ones honoring Queen Elizabeth II's Silver Jubilee and her Commonwealth membership, respectively. He also shouldn't be wearing them in the United States. In addition, I think Harry received this honor because of his affiliation with the Invictus Games. Again, wearing the medals was a heartfelt gesture toward injured veterans. He had resigned from the military because he was not eligible for the rank he wanted. He had been in a protected area in Afghanistan. He had backed out of the Marine Memorial Service to attend a movie preview, and he had turned Instagram into a Meghan fashion show. Tragic tale on the special day of the injured veteran. And where on earth was Meghan? It's surprising that she didn't rush to give him another medal, perhaps for being the world's greatest jam tester. They have both reduced Invictus to a laughing stock. Harry may have a right to wear the medals, but his motivations remain a mystery. That being said, I'm not sure what he has to be proud of. Not many of the people who are mentioned in history texts are very arrogant. He is merely an ordinary soldier, neither less nor more. A toy soldier is not a very impressive person. For the most part of his service, he played video games while under strict protection. 3 attempts at the helicopter pilot test failed him. He has not received any medals for valor or distinguished service, just because he was present. It's quite ironic calling someone self-important while offering congratulations to a genuinely commendable soldier who has consistently demonstrated dignity and determination. Prince Harry's flaunting of his lone military participation medal is indeed embarrassing. Without the royal family's intervention, he likely wouldn't have been admitted to Sandhurst, an absurdity of the highest degree. Perhaps we should consider bestowing upon him additional medals and awards: bunker boy, royal moron, royal traitor, supreme liar, and so on. Permit me to examine Harry's medals in more detail. The king was a real pilot who had won an honor, off HMS Hermes, operating a chopper, the double diamond medal for distinction. He flew fixed-wing jet aircraft as well. As the heir apparent, he was prohibited from participating in military operations, and William, an air and sea rescue pilot, was also prohibited from doing so. Harry received training only in co-pilot gunnery. He was never left to fly alone by the mod. Harry's intellectual abilities have been deemed below average, and he had to depart from the army due to an inability to progress to positions of responsibility, primarily because of challenges passing exams. He faced academic struggles from his prep school days, being held back a year and continuously lagging behind despite being older than his peers. His entire persona appears to have been carefully crafted. Without his royal status, he likely wouldn't have gained admission to Sandhurst. The medal he received was more symbolic than earned, awarded for mere presence rather than substantial service, and his military tours were abbreviated. He earned the nickname Bunker for being stationed in safer areas. Furthermore, his other medals, including Jubilee medals, were awarded after his departure from active military service. Alright, to put it succinctly, he is a MO.on, but he has made the decision to live an American life. He resides in the US, as does his wife and kids, and he pays or fails to pay us taxes. In actuality, he is an American. Thus, kindly refrain from acting foolishly and refrain from taking any action pertaining to the UK. But the crux of the matter lies here. It's about the journey, not just the destination. We must ponder why Harry was invited to the ceremony and even entrusted with a speech. Clearly, he received an invitation. The lingering question is, despite Harry's actions, why was he still extended an invitation? Does he still have someone looking out for him? Perhaps his father, King Charles? Interestingly, Lady C made startling disclosures about King Charles's leniency towards Prince Harry. Lady Colin Campbell is shedding light on a significant factor that could explain King Charles's gentle handling of his youngest son. During her recent interviews, particularly with YouTubers PDina and Dan Wooten for her updated edition of Persecutors or Victims, she broaches the topic of Harry's unconventional start in life, suggesting that he may not have been right from birth. It's crucial to approach this topic with the utmost sensitivity, ensuring it's not misconstrued as offensive or mocking towards individuals and families navigating the challenges of special needs. However, many, myself included, have observed Harry's stark and dramatic physical transformation. His facial features and peculiar, unpredictable body language have noticeably changed since his marriage to Meghan. These observations are readily available in the public domain. Lady C has openly and cautiously addressed King Charles's apprehension and alarm regarding a genuine developmental concern, likely stemming from a prenatal issue Harry experienced during his mother's pregnancy. The enduring impact of this damage has evidently contributed to Harry's personal struggles, affecting not only him but also his family dynamics, reputation, and decisions as a prominent figure on the global stage and influential platform. According to Lady C, there have been questions raised about whether Harry's cognitive development and mental processes have been negatively damaged by his mother's increasing eating issue. She is not in the slightest bit criticizing Diana for having an acute, agonizing, and rapidly worsening eating disorder while she was expecting Harry. She is carefully attending to Harry's evident physiological changes, which have developed into what appear to be probable visual developing brain deficits. In Harry's case, there are recurring medical traits and facial features like the ears and eyes that become more noticeable and revealing over time. These traits may have a medical basis that is entirely separate from long-term self-admitted drug use or the physical devaluation that results from being the victim of a cunning, vicious narcissist like Meghan. Numerous factors can hinder the natural development of the brain during pregnancy, and in some cases, the medical community struggles to ascertain the cause, mechanism, or reason behind such occurrences and the specific regions of the brain that may be affected. Just as modern medicine continues to grapple with uncovering causes, remedies, and successful therapies for a myriad of intricate diseases such as cancer and blood disorders, fetal development can sometimes evade control or complete understanding. Despite remarkable advancements in medical technology, critical organs like the brain may undergo abnormal development, commonly referred to as birth defects. Harry also faces the unfortunate reality of struggling with addiction, incorporating the hazardous and habitual misuse of substances into his daily life. Addiction is a progressive ailment as real, intricate, and devastating as heart disease or cancer. It's plausible that his own recognition and shame regarding his perceived lower intellect, coupled with a possible sense of inherent otherness compared to his brother and peers, propelled and intensified his substance use. This may have been a coping mechanism to alleviate feelings of inadequacy, fit in better, or numb the internal anguish, confusion, and loss he undoubtedly experienced, especially given the triggering and highly publicized tragic death of his mother when he was just 12 years old, on the verge of turning 13. Even Harry has frequently stated that he has never been naturally capable of performing average or superior cognitive function, either as a youngster or as an adult. Since intelligence is relative, learning development therapies, games, puzzles, formal or self-education, reading, and life experiences can all help people, even those who are intellectually or learning challenged, increase and improve brain function. Clinical studies have unequivocally demonstrated that drugs and violent computer games can impede brain development, leading to actual diminishment, dulling, and alteration of brain cells and their functioning patterns and processes. There are reports suggesting that Harry has been engrossed in violent computer gaming since his days in Afghanistan, persisting into the present where he indulges in gaming sessions that stretch until the early hours of the morning. Gaming, like substance abuse, constitutes an active addiction, and computer engineers and game developers deliberately incorporate addictive elements into these ultra-violent games. With advancements in technology, these games are becoming increasingly immersive, realistic, and laden with cutting-edge special effects, rivaling or surpassing the quality of well-produced sci-fi films. Consequently, they become more habit-forming with each passing year as technological capabilities evolve. Harry has acknowledged his personal battles with mental health and low self-esteem. Harry, like many millions of others, has struggled with anxiety, despair, and quite terrifyingly his own account of a red mist engulfing him, poor impulse control, and anger-rage difficulties that seriously impair judgment and change suitable, proportionate responses and socially acceptable activities within the bounds of accepted structure, rules, and society norms are best described by the red mist. Anger management issues can be terrifying because they are often accompanied by volatility, mood swings, and violent outbursts. Lady C emphasizes in her latest edition that structured environments, like the military with its inherent protocols and practices, have served as a roadmap and lifeline for Harry, bolstering his sense of purpose, self-esteem, and confidence. For most individuals, having some form of structure in their daily lives is essential for maximizing well-being and fostering a sense of purpose or raison d'etre, whether it's through employment, a vocation, passion, hobby, calling, volunteer work, or familial responsibilities. Unfortunately, Harry is currently devoid of any consistent, sustained, structured obligations in California. Without the meticulously organized day-to-day structure provided by his previous royal duties in the UK, he appears to be deteriorating and unraveling right before our eyes in real time. In addition, she notes that King Charles has been unable to discipline his youngest son in the firm, meaningful way that his oldest son and heir, the people of the United Kingdom, and members of Parliament are demanding and need since Harry was born not right. King Charles appears to be stuck in a situation that keeps him in a constant state of conflict with Harry while doing nothing to incite Harry and Meghan's fury and Meghan's furious racial baiting and narcotic retaliation. On her YouTube channel, Lady C also says that Charles is terrified that Harry would intentionally hurt himself and that the royal family will face more racial epithets. That ship has sailed, Charles. You and your beautiful future queen daughter-in-law have already been exposed as racist without any proof, either historical or contemporary, to back up your claims. No matter what you did or did not do, Charlie boy, you were always going to be called a racist. So what have you gained historically in terms of reputation or legacy by sticking your head in the sand, and as Lady C puts it, hoping it will go away when, in reality, the damage has already been done and will only get worse if you don't have any powerful deterrents at your ready? Lady C expresses no optimism that Harry will realize his mistakes and change his ways. He has been brainwashed, is alone, estranged from his nation, family, and friends, and has been given more confidence by his handler. His habit of taking illicit drugs on a regular basis serves to bolster his illusion and paranoia. The presumed birth defect consistently placed Harry at a disadvantage, a fact that King Charles seems to have sensed in his youngest son. From King Charles's perspective, Harry's recent destructive actions and their significant repercussions appear to exceed Harry's cognitive abilities or control. Seen through the lens of a loving and concerned father, Charles has chosen to exhibit patience and understanding in light of these tragic circumstances. It's evident that Harry may not fully comprehend the ramifications of his actions. Narcissists like Meghan and Harry possess a cunning ability to ensnare their victims in unwinnable scenarios, forcing them into a no-win situation where every option leads to some form of damage. It's all about managing optics and shaping perception, rather than addressing reality. Consequently, we see a slew of sycophantic media narratives urging William to embody the archetype of the better, bigger, and older brother, while simultaneously pressuring him to extend olive branches from every direction. Meanwhile, William, his ailing wife and father, his children, and the entire institution face relentless attacks from Meghan's PR machine on a daily basis, leaving them feeling besieged in their own existence. Either strip us and our children of our titles and will resort to playing the race victim card, or maintain the status quo, refrain from reacting or responding, and will still leverage the race victim card. We'll proactively declare prince and princess titles for the unborn, putting pressure on the palace and royal family to confirm these titles shortly afterward. And if the Casper children aren't granted prince and princess titles despite being raised solely in the US, we'll accuse you all of racism and portray ourselves and our children as perpetual victims, fueling unrest and animosity within the Commonwealth or Colonial Empire 2.0. The hubris every day of his troubled existence of instability and erratic mood swings, Harry is confronting and acting upon serious challenges of dynamic and active addiction with bad judgment. He has assimilated the methods used by his handler, who has trained him to obey all of her commands and be at her disposal in order to fulfill her avaricious, vengeful, and victimizing desires. Any underlying brain abnormality that develops during pregnancy will only serve to worsen Harry's life and increase his own destructiveness toward both himself and his offspring. The effects of a developmental brain problem that is present from birth but is too difficult and subtle to detect will eventually manifest in the mind and body, eroding the once robust, handsome, charming, cheeky, and affable young man who once had his mother's golden touch. The good that Harry could have done in the future, the opportunities lost, the delusional fog created by his heavy drug use, the systematic devaluation of his personality and confidence under his handler, the emotionally stunted development, the Messiah-like delusions, and the intense paranoia may all be a cover for a fundamental developmental problem that began in the womb and continues to haunt and impair him to this day. And that also brings us to the end of this video. If you agree with my opinion, please comment okay? If not, please express yours so we can know your opinion. Don't forget to like and share the video. Your support is our motivation. Let's subscribe to receive notifications about the newest videos. We will be back soon. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.